When I first decided to run for office, a nice gentleman came up to me and said, "What's a nice girl like you doing in the business of politics?" Namaskaram, na peru Aruna Katragadda Miller, and my business is politics. And if you ask my 3 daughters, they'll tell you I'm not that nice. Politics is my business because I am the world's 51% minority when it comes to economic, social, legal, political, and reproductive rights. And policy making is a way that I have found to be a change agent and to bring about profound improvements for women's equality. Long, long time ago, when I was born right here in Andhra Pradesh, my father went to the United States to seek the American dream. And in doing so, he paved opportunities for my siblings and me. In 2010, I became the first Indian American woman to be elected to the Maryland General Assembly. And in doing so, I am currently the only Telugu person in the United States in elected office. So I can't tell you how much pride this brings me to come back from the world. India, welcomed me into the world, and it was the United States that made me her own. So to bring these 2 moments together gives me great pride to be here today. I want to welcome everyone that's here today, including the inspirational speakers that you've heard all day and will continue to hear, the dignitaries, and most of all, my favorite people, women and the men who support us. I would also like to thank Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, and as well as AP Speaker Dr. Kodala Siva Prasad Rao, and everyone else who made today's National Women's Parliament possible. In terms of representation of women in Parliament, of the 190 countries, India ranks number 145 for percentage of women holding public office, at only 12%. But India did have the first female chief minister. And we also currently have Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and a sad departing of Chief Minister Jayalalitha. The U.S. is not much better when it comes to women representation. We rank 100, where only 21% of our elected officials at federal office are held by women. And as you know, the United States had a tremendous opportunity to break a glass ceiling this past election. And unfortunately, we didn't do so. We had an opportunity to elect the most qualified person that was running for the President of the United States, Secretary Hillary Clinton. And we passed this opportunity up. I cannot tell you how many people in the United States are still grieving over this loss. But we're not going to roll over. We're not going to cry about this. We're going to get up and do something about this. We're going to elect more women to public office. And what it takes for women to run for office is that we have to step out of our comfort zone. To me, this has made all the difference in my world. When I first ran for public office, it wasn't that I was looking to do it. I had started to volunteer with my local Democratic Party, and one thing led to another, and it was really the party that came to ask me to run for office. My first response was no. And believe it or not, on the average, it takes 7 times to ask a woman to run for office before she actually does. So I want you to remember that statistic, ladies. Don't wait for 7 times. Go do it the first time. You may be successful, you may not, but it takes coming out of your comfort zone, and if you don't take that chance, you will never know. Our life here is short in the material world, and I want to leave you with one of my favorite poems that has always inspired me, and I hope it inspires you as well. What will matter is not what you bought, but what you built. Not what you got, but what you gave. What will matter is not your success, but your significance. Not what you learned, but what you taught. What will matter is every act of integrity, compassion, courage, and sacrifice that enriched, empowered, and encouraged others to emulate your example. What will matter is not your competence, but your character. Living a life that matters doesn't happen by accident. It's not a matter of circumstance, but of choice. We have a responsibility to be citizens of the world, where the war we wage is the one where we fight against poverty, injustice, and inequality, whether it's social, economic, political, or legal. It's our turn to be a catalyst for social economic changes in India and America and throughout the globe. My hope is that each of you live at the intersection of your greatest gifts and the world's greatest needs, because the road to progress and success is always under construction. The mothers, the sisters, and the little girls around the world need you. Humanity needs you. So step out of your comfort zone, rise up, speak up, and create the world you want today and the world you want to leave behind tomorrow, where you inspire others to go to the far corners of the land to spread the ideals which must be defended with their lives if necessary. God bless America and Jai Hind. Thank you for having me.
राजनेताओं ने डॉक्टर साहब से बहुत कुछ सीखने जैसा है। इतना सारा हुआ, उन पर एक दाग नहीं लगा। बाथरूम में रेनकोट पहन करके नहाना, ये कला तो डॉक्टर साहब ही जानते हैं।